Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Because somewhere around the world, that's what fucking time it truly is. I want to thank you guys. You could have been in anywhere in the world, but you motherfuckers are here with me now. Before I curse any further, let me just do this. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
He's on fire!
Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it. Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it.
CEO, bullshit, paying for the pussy, I endorse it, riding through the city, that's my off. People. It's exciting, man. God is great, man. God is great, man. I want to shout out everybody in the building. Sean Maville, Sofa Bloodline, Dolores Law, Tex Mike, Will Mendez, Chokehold, Jason Static. I am going to give my moderators at the end of the show 3 names. Shout out to Chokehold. I'm going to give my moderator 3 names at the end of the show. Lucky Luciano, shout out to you in the building. I'm going to give Uber Guy, my brother from another mother. Ree, shout out to you in the building. I'm going to give my moderators 3 names. 3 names to pick from. The 3 names to pick from will be, they will pick a name from the 3 names, and that name will be the second moderator added to our platform, to our show. We'll be bringing in a new Patriot. New Patriot will be getting armed with that block that ass button, with that shut the fuck up button. As you know, Shannon usually is in there watching the chat and everything else. She has all power. So if she's in there and she feels like removing anybody, she can. But she likes to leave it up to the moderators. If you keep wondering why I'm looking down, no, I'm not looking at my penis. I am looking at my frontal leaf. We about to get into this. Yeah, Sean Maville is a name on the list. Sean Maville is one name on the list. Sean Maville has been a long time supporter. Sean Maville name is definitely on the list. But I don't have any influence. I don't want to say who else name is everything. Who else names are on the list. We'll wait to the end of the show. And I'll let my moderators make the decision on what's going to happen with that as far as that's concerned. So you guys, you know I'm going to do Turn the Point USA. I will be there. I will be at Washington, D.C. I will be at the White House. I will be talking prison reform. I can come out and say it. I can come out and talk about it now. I can come out. I will be on CRTV. And that is, we will be taping on the 25th. I'm not sure if it will be airing on the 25th or the 26th, but we will be shooting for CRTV. That's something I wanted to get out there. And you know, we got to critique some news. So we got a bunch of dumb motherfuckers headed here in vans, right? Apparently. And, you know, if the Democrats had taken care of the legal immigrants in this country, let alone the illegal that are already here, they would have more of an argument as to why we want a busload of non-English speaking motherfuckers in this country. The inner cities, Democrats already know. The Democrats don't give a fuck about Americans. They're so fucking desperate that they have to get votes from other countries in order to steal from us, the citizens of this fucking nation. Seriously, all jokes aside, these people coming on these buses, God knows how many of them are fucking rapists. God knows how many of them are fucking pedophiles. And it's like, who gives a fuck? Who cares about the citizens? No, we're Democrats. Bring them all in. We need them all in here to fuck up everything for everyone else because we have yet to fix any of the fucking things we have started. They have never fucking followed through with one fucking thing that these people fucking started. Not a fucking thing. Not one fucking thing. I told you already, my niece was told by a school that she was accepted by that they didn't have space for her. She's in New York City. You know why they don't have space for her? Because of a bunch of fucking kids that shouldn't fucking be here going to that school taking up fucking space. It never fucking stops. It never fucking stops. These people don't give a fuck about a nothing. Except for them having fucking power.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight, and greetings from California. We're coming to you live this evening from the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda outside Los Angeles. We'll see if you remember hearing this story at any point before. A caravan of impoverished migrants is now making its way up from Central America through Mexico. Their plan is to present...
impoverished migrants? No, I don't know what the fuck they are. A bunch of fucking illegal aliens are trying to enter into this fucking country. That's what the fuck is going on. I don't know how the fuck they live or whatever. And we should take away the fucking aid.
...at our southern border and demand entry into our country with all the benefits, of course, that entails. The White House has vowed to stop this caravan using the armed forces if necessary, but it keeps coming. Have you heard something like that before? Well, in fact, you have. Something very similar happened just a few months ago. We watched another migrant caravan snake its way up.
If Mexico allowed these motherfuckers to snake through Mexico to come to the United States border, it should be on and cracking between us and Mexico. There's definitely a reason why we need a fucking border war. It's definitely a reason why we need a fucking border war. Before these fucking Democrats even allow Black America, poor Americans, to have a taste of the American dream, they are trying to offer it up and throw it out the fucking window right before our very fucking eyes. They don't give a fuck. They don't give not one single fuck. Got a bunch of fucking illegal immigrants outside attacking U.S. citizens and shit. And the sad shit is, even the illegal that's here, that's dreamers, because to me they're still illegal too. So even the illegal dreamers that are here, like, they need to say, hold the fuck up, wait a minute. You haven't even dealt with our problem yet. And you're already talking about letting everyone else in. We're not even secured yet.
Central America. It finally arrived, and then the news coverage essentially stopped. But what happened next? Well, here's what happened next. Hundreds of those people in that caravan are still here in the U.S. And if recent history is any guide at all, very few of them will ever leave. Once you reach this country and claim asylum, you're usually home free. Our media don't often cover that, but the rest of the world is watching and knows it very well. And that's why they keep coming. The most recent estimates suggest that a caravan's worth of uninvited migrants arrives at our border every few days. Why is this happening? Because an entire political party is inviting it and encouraging it. They believe unchecked immigration will strengthen their hold on power. They're perfectly aware that you don't like this, but they don't care.
They don't care.
Just yesterday, Nancy Pelosi said it would be, quote, immoral to build a wall that might stop poor people from flooding into this country. Watch.
We have to do something.
If you think these rich white motherfucking liberals speak for the inner cities, you're wrong. It's already not enough space. It's already too hot. If you think that blacks want to further see their communities destroyed and sold off and eroded, you're wrong. They get these few token niggas up here who don't live in the ghetto, don't live in the inner cities, don't live in trailer parks, don't live with poor Americans. They don't. They are oblivious to what we're dealing with, yet and still they feel like they have the obligation to speak for us and tell us exactly what it is we need. The only reason why people are so poor is because of the people that are governing them. The Democrats have the worst fucking track record. You know, they keep talking about this blue wave, and then you have Hannity and other people talking about how you need to be afraid, we can lose it all in these days, and so on and so forth. No, we're not. No, we're not. And I don't really like the fact that they do this so much. Like every time I turn around, there's a scare tactic from either side. You got to do this, you got to do this, you got to... No. We don't have to worry is what we don't have to do. We definitely have to vote. That's absolute. But we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry. Because the people that are outside doing the shit that they're doing are desperate people. They're not people that won. No one in a winning position, in a winning hand, would move and act so fucking desperate. No one. Instead of focusing on how dumb these motherfuckers are and all the other extra dumb shit that they're doing, let's focus on the fact that we're winning. Let's focus on the fact that we're winning. Let's talk about the fact that we're winning. If we start talking about what we're doing as a country, and as a country hearing this, we will be more focused on getting the fuck up and voting. You wouldn't even have to tell us what it is that we could lose because this would never really be part of the conversation. The only thing that we will be thinking about is winning more. That's it.
Other than building a wall, which you can't.
Ask this bitch to get on the train in New York City, or to get on the BART in California, or to get on the L in Chicago by herself. That will never happen. It will never happen. And the crazy shit is, I've been on them all.
Very well. In my view, it's immoral, expensive, ineffective, and it's not something that people do between countries.
But the Pope does it. There's a big ass wall outside his house. And if the man closest to God gets to have a wall outside his house, well, by God, right, I want the same thing. Up until the point of these fucking pieces of shit putting signs outside their doors, allowing anyone to enter to live freely, I am not listening to a fucking thing these people have to say. Yes, there is white privilege, if in fact you are a white Democrat. Yes, in fact, there is systemic racism and a disparity against individuals being locked up. And the reason why it's happening is because of fucking Democrats. You know what? I hate to see Republicans like Tucker Carlson, when he hears that and he says, "What? My gosh, that's absurd. No one has ever heard that before." But what he doesn't do is he doesn't throw the information back in their face, telling them that you know what, you might be right, because the people that benefit off of black people being oppressed seems to be the Democrats. The Republicans don't get shit. Not a fucking thing. The blacks don't vote for Republicans. So if that's the case, it must be, and it must be the Democrats. Why don't they tote the unemployment in the black community as if it really does mean something when it means something? It's because what the Democrats are trying to say is that it doesn't mean anything. That if you're black, it doesn't mean anything if you have a job. Because having you unemployed means absolutely nothing. Give me 1 second. Hey, I'm live on the air. I'm going to have to call you right back. You heard me? I'm going to call you as soon as I'm done with the show. I'm going to call you right back. All right. That was my brother from California, my OG right there. Nothing bad. You know, we always get to talk to each other because real men stand up.
Did you catch that? Securing the border is just, quote, not something people do. Not something decent people do anyway. Bigots do it. So do moral reprobates and anyone else who derives pleasure from cruelty. As MSNBC explained just today, borders are a lot like slavery or the Trail of Tears. Watch.
This is a moral outrage that...
Now watch what he gets to do, and watch how they allow him to do it. And this fat, fucking slut, dog-faced bitch sits there next to him.
Harkens to the worst excesses in the history of the country, to the separation of families at the slave auction.
At the slave auction, how the fuck do you equate slavery with illegal immigration? How the fuck do you get to fucking equate slavery with illegal immigration? You got motherfuckers coming over here illegally, and then you have motherfuckers who are brought over here captive. Listen to it.
Blocks
yes.
To the separation of Native American families. It is a moral outrage.
To the separation of Native American families. Who's responsible for the separation of the Native American families? It's not the Republicans. It's not the Republican Party. It's the Democratic Party. And then look how this fucking piece of shit, this fucking wet dog, gets to tell him she loves him.
I really do. I'd like to move next door to you and have coffee.
You see this? The fake fraud shit? Because since when has Rosie O'Fucking-Donald ever been in the fucking inner cities and knows what the fuck is going on with Black America? Since when has this fat fucking dog ever been involved with Black America? Never fucking ever. 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 But this piece of shit gets to fucking equate illegal immigration with fucking slavery, and you not mad yet? You're not upset yet? These people get to sit here and be any fucking race they want in front of your fucking face as if it's a fucking about nothing. And laugh at you. Create fucked up situations for you to live in and then talk about it as if they're not the ones creating the fucked up situation for you to live in.
They're morally outraged. Well, they're always morally outraged, and the point of their moral outrage is pretty clear. America has no right to decide who lives within its borders. Americans lack the moral standing to make that decision. We are too sinful. Illegal immigrants come here because we deserve it. We meddled in their wars in the 1980s. We had the gall to...
My female cat is a pothead. Only thing she do is come around me when I'm fucking smoking weed. That's the only time she by my feet is when I'm smoking.
Addicted to the drugs they send us. We once had segregation in the American South. Whatever. The point is, this is a fallen country. 22 million illegals within our borders is just the beginning of our penance. Latin America is listening to all of this, and they are getting the message, and that's why they're on their way. Last fiscal year, 94,000...
I'm telling you, and this may sound harsh, but if we have to defend our borders with non-lethal force, but have to use utensils that cause pain, I'm all for it. I am totally against allowing motherfuckers to come here and take from me, man. can't wait for fucking Turning Point. Yo, I cannot wait. These people got some fucking nerve, man. They absolutely don't give a fuck about nothing. They can't. They sit here and they tell you, Kumbaya fucking y'all, how the fuck are you gonna pay for it? I can't wait to turn the point, USA.
Families from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador were detained at the U.S. border. Not one of these people had a right to come in, but they were not deported. Almost 100% of them are still here, and most will never leave. We are powerless in the face of this. Congress could fix it, but Congress refuses to fix it. The system is broken by design. Voters know this, of course. It's one of the main reasons they voted for Donald Trump 2 years ago. They don't hate immigrants, obviously, but they do believe America has a right to decide which immigrants to admit. All countries have that right, don't they?
You know, I remember when you seen an immigrant in this country, you thought they were extremely smart. In fact, you knew they were. You knew that they were extremely smart in order for them to be here because there was a criteria that you had to have fulfilled in order to get into the United States of America. Most legal immigrants that I've ever come across in my life are actually very, very, very smart. And that was the okay for these individuals to be here because it wouldn't have been a bunch of individuals raping the welfare system. It was a bunch of individuals working real fucking hard to make it on their own, find their own ways, and actually, become impactful citizens. They wanted to show up, especially blacks that always complain. That's why a lot of African immigrants that come here don't even like black Americans. They don't like them. They think that they're lazy. They call us lazy a lot. And they do not like us. And I don't care who don't like it. They do not like us. And they come here and they excel right in front of your face. And you always say, or you wonder why it's happening. Well, it used to happen because they were driven. They was driven by being competitive and by having to be smart in order to make it in this market. Now, that's not the case. Now the Democrats are saying, we don't want you to be smart. We don't want you to be competitive. We want you to be needy. We want you to be needy and lazy and self-defeated. That way you can come here and we, the Democratic Party, can take your insecurities and play with them as much as we possibly can to get you to give us a vote every 4 years. Nothing new's going on. Nothing different going on. I do not want a bunch of fucking illegals in this fucking country. Every time you see a construction site and you're in the inner cities, how many black people do you see working on that construction site compared to how many fucking Mexicans you see there? Or how many fucking Indians or fucking Salvadorians or fucking Ecuadorians? How many? Because you hardly ever see blacks. Hardly ever. Do you honestly think that blacks are not watching this shit and don't see it and don't gripe about it? That's what you think? The excuse the Democrats use that they do jobs that black people won't do. That's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie. What about the legal immigrants that are here? Those are jobs they won't do either?
That would be an interesting debate. The Democratic Party and their lackeys in the media don't want to have that debate because they know they would lose. So instead, they try to bully the population into silence.
The GOP argument on immigration isn't one that's optimism-based. It's fear-based.
This is a
No, it's not.
tactic, right? This is the president. This immigration is a scare tactic he's using to rev up his supporters.
When you talk about caravan, you're talking about white anxiety. You're talking about old white man angst.
It's like anything these token niggas can say for they 15 minutes of fame is cool. This nigga got all of 500 followers on Instagram. Yo, you gotta check, because listen to me, social media is the wave, people. Go to these people's followers, see if Nancy Pelosi has more followers than Donald Trump. Go check. I'm serious. See if Cory Booker got more followers than Donald Trump. That's who we need to be afraid of. We need to be afraid of the motherfuckers that got more influence. And not bought shit either, because we know when it's bought. We know when your shit is bought. When you got thousands of fucking followers and thousands of fucking subs, and you only got a few hundred fucking views, not buying it. Not buying it. You looking for the motherfucking comments too, because people comment like a motherfucker when your shit is authentic. People don't not say nothing.
A lot more often these days with people that make this face. When I say, if you want it bad enough, you'll go get it. If you want it bad enough, you'll get it.
I'm sorry, people. We got Arsenio Hall's grandfather on TV with his slave master sitting there like, yep, say what I taught you to say there.
So when they bring up the caravan, that's all we need to do is to bring up the pictures of children being separated from their families.
In other words, shut up, racist. Well, you probably heard that before, too, like every day for the last 2 years. You hear it a lot because it's an effective political tactic, but it only works if you fall for it. You should not fall for it. Most Americans are not racists, not even close. They're decent people. They love their country, they want their country to continue, and they know that will not continue without real borders. Max Burns is a spokesman for Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights, a group that campaigns on behalf of migration, and he joins us tonight.
Campaigns on migration. Not about fixing the shit that they've already started. Not about fixing the immigration system, which is already broken. Just by allowing motherfuckers to continuously fucking come here that we can't even afford to fucking take care of.
Thanks a lot, Max, for joining us tonight. So, sort of a macro question first. You acknowledge this is a democracy, and democracies over time probably ought to reflect the will of the people who live within them. The majority of the population overwhelmingly thinks Americans have the right to determine who comes in from other countries. We don't have that right. It's demonstrable. Isn't this anti-democratic, the system that we have now?
I don't know that anyone's arguing that we have to take people in. This is, Tucker, a simple question of enforcing the laws that we already have. I mean, if people like Barry Goldwater and Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush could make the distinction between an immigrant and a refugee, I think it's well within the capability of Congress and the president to make that same distinction today.
But we're not making...
Effective immediately. The president needs to put no entry in the U.S. effectively for the next 2 years. And the reason why I say effectively for the next 2 years is because something needs to be done first with immigration. And every Democrat that tells anyone that they should be here and they should be here illegally should be arrested. Yo, we got free speech all we want, but you can't incite a riot, and you can't incite the disruption of a government. You cannot work for a fucking government, and in the same breath that the government you work for, which is the people, you are doing shit to disenfranchise the people.
That distinction. And that's the reason that of the last caravan, as you just heard, which was several months ago, almost every single member who made it within our borders is still here. We're not enforcing our own laws, and that's why we have upwards of 22 million illegal aliens within our borders. The outline's really simple. We don't have control of who's coming in or out. And it's hard to contest that when the numbers are universally acknowledged. So why is that democratic if most people don't want it?
I think it's strange that the people talking about law and order.
And we also need more volunteers on the border. More volunteers on the border stopping people from coming in. This is your country too. No one can tell you you cannot do it. You can do it. You can help defend your border. There are men that are doing it. You can do it as well. Other people can help in tons of other places. You can find these groups and help fund these groups too. But if you're an able, willing man and you do not have any felonies and you have the right to bear arms, I would definitely look into getting with these brothers and spending some time out there with them to help secure the border. It's just something that you can do to help your country. People ask me all the time, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? If you do not have a felony, if you have in around $6,000 saved up, that is more than enough money to buy the supplies you may need to get you started. And then if I was you, I would have GoPros to me. I would be going live during my work, and I would get up with some good brothers, and I would get to work. I would get to work.
Or don't want to enforce, say, the Refugee Act of 19.
I agree. Send willing vets to the border. Send veterans that are still able to the border.
Which was unanimously passed by the Senate. Unanimity, not something we're used to today, and who don't want to follow the process that's enshrined in our own domestic law to grant at least the application.
And don't think I don't feel bad for some of these people, because for some of them I do. I understand that they're looking for a better tomorrow. And a lot of them want to get it from this country, but what they don't realize is that it's not here for them. We cannot have them here. We cannot afford to do it. We haven't dealt with anything that we already have issues with. All we're doing is compiling on more debt and more problems.
And then the right to plead a case for asylum at the border. That's in the law. The problem is that process is not being followed.
Well, it's not, as you know, and I think your argument is disingenuous because you know, because you work on this issue, that the overwhelming majority of people are released within our country and never go before a judge and just stay here. And again, that's why we have 22 million. So when illegals in this country right now, it's part of the reason. So if you see a migrant caravan coming of people who have no documentation and no right to be here, it's a little concerning when the left says, well, wait a second, we deserve them because we meddled in their countries in the 80s, or we take the drugs they send us. The point that you're making and others on the left are making is this is our punishment.
No, come on, Tucker, you're a supply and demand conservative. You know that there can't be a demand without supply. There can't be supply without demand.
Now he makes excuses for the drug epidemic. I don't want to listen to this. If that was me, I would have been told to shut up a long time ago. It doesn't affect the communities he lives in, but he doesn't have to worry about it.
Which is that the United States has no moral standing. The left is saying this. Pelosi said it. The guest who I just talked to has said it. We have no moral standing. We have no right to determine who comes into our country because our history is just so bad, so awful, so sinful. What do you make of that argument?
Well, I don't even take it on its own.
The United States of America has a fucked up past, but also we have the greatest one in history. A lot of things done underhanded, but there was a lot of things done that made this nation great. The only reason why Black Americans can say fuck a flag is because the Democrats have never allowed them to experience the American dream. They took it from them as soon as they got close to having it. And now that they're done sucking everything they can out of the fucking Black communities, and there's literally not shit there. They're trying to tell a bunch of people who shouldn't even be here, come here too, so we can get your vote. Because no one else here will vote for us. It's the only reason why. If everyone truly was for open borders, the last thing they would need to do is tell people to come here illegally. They would tell them, wait, it's a sure thing. We're going to win the House and the Senate. It's for sure. We'll take care of it when we get power. Just sit and watch. Because an overwhelming group of people will be going out to vote for them. This is the only thing their party is running right now. They aren't running about anything else. There is literally nothing else these people are running on besides illegal immigrants coming here and taking from you and me. The Democrats are not even far left anymore. They are south. They are a group of evil, diabolical people with the only intentions of procuring what they can for themselves. Nothing about the fucking Democrats is good. From the beginning of their party to the current people representing it, they're all full of shit. There are never any blacks up there that are from the inner cities willing to actually tell you what's going on because they're too fucking afraid and they're willing to sell the fuck out. We're not doing that here.
Merits, because I don't think they really believe in any consistency. Remember, it was just 30 years ago that the likes of Caesar, it was Cesar Chavez and Bill Clinton and Chuck Schumer.
Who were making the case?
Were,
right.
Yes, they were all making the case that the borders should be closed because it adversely impacted minority communities, and that it undermined union wages and entry-level workers. And then when we got 20 million, all of a sudden they said, "Wow, we flipped California, New Mexico, Colorado, Nevada. This is a good thing. Let's ignore federal immigration law." And the same thing with sanctuary cities. They're good now because it fulfills a useful agenda. But believe me, if Alabama and Montana and Utah said, you know what, in our jurisdictions, in our state, we don't want to adhere to federal orders about gay marriage or the Endangered Species Act or federal handgun registration, then all of a sudden that would be nullification and neo-Confederate in the eyes of the left. It's the Kavanaugh hearings all over again. Remember, in a nanosecond, we were going to throw out 238 years of American jurisprudence because it didn't coincide with an agenda for the Supreme Court. And then afterwards, suddenly the good blue wall electoral college that helped Obama get elected had to be jettisoned because it crumbled and gave Trump the election. And senators were wonderful from small states, the same as big states, because Obama had a supermajority in the Senate.
What is the electoral college? Do they in fact pick the president? Yes and no. It still takes the people to vote. See, the reason why the popular vote doesn't get the presidency is because there are more people in New York and Chicago. These two states together could actually decide who becomes the president. So to be fair, we have to count all the states. That's it. All the states counted. Once someone wins all the states, that person is president. The Electoral College picks that person. Ta-da! That's how it works.
And that was bad. And 9 justices were good since 1869. And suddenly they didn't flip like they usually do in a Republican. And so it's whatever is useful. The law is fluid and adaptable. It's about power, Tucker. It's not about the respect for the law and the
You're
abstract.
Exactly right. And I think a lot of us, including me very often, are far too literal and take these arguments as if they're sincere, which they are not. Professor, thank you.
Thank you.
Across the country, extremists are attacking candidates for office, but of course only of one party. The media's message is to vote for Democrats anyway, or you're a bad person. Much tape on that as the show continues tonight from the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda, California.
I'm not too fond of Nixon either.
Tucker Carlson is brought to you by Pacific Life.
And mob behavior from the left, the media have decided to ban the word mob and coalesce around a new storyline. You better vote Democrat or you're a racist, sexist, or literally a traitor to your country.
Quislings meekly march in lockstep behind a morally disabled president. I don't know how you do it. It's appalling.
People are just trying to make liberals scream and cry. And they laugh about it, right? Like there's a mug that they'll hold up and say liberal tears, and they laugh as they drink it. The cruelty is the point of
the cruelty is the fact that you motherfuckers get on television every fucking day to lie to people in order for you to steal from them. And then the thing is, you don't even steal from them. You're getting not even crumbs. You get to smell aromas. That's it. That's it. Currently, right now, you're outside smelling the aroma of the food. You don't even get crumbs. No one here. Not a person here. You get time on television in hopes that one day, maybe, you can probably rise up and become somebody in the party. It's the goal for some of these dumbasses. And some of them, just like being the people that are so-called experts about a damn nothing. Not one fucking thing. These people know what Black America wants as much as I know how to fucking play cricket. As much as I know how the safari of Africa looks. CNN finds it amusing that black people eat up the token niggas that they throw in there to salt and pepper this shit up to make it seem as if they really give a fuck about Black America. It's evident in their fucking ratings that no one's fucking watching. No one fucking cares. It's evident. No one's watching this shit. No one's watching butt naked baby rapist Leatherface. Rapunzel, the Wicked Witch of the Dems, and whatever the fuck this bitch is with the glasses on the end. Look how disheveled he looks. Fucking tie's ridiculous, shirt's ridiculous. At least this nigga got on TV and he came up here trying to look like something today. Even though he is ugly as fuck too. Fuck is wrong with this nigga running around here with the butt naked baby rapist Leatherface?
They voted for the cruel
Donna. You know, I was calling you Donna before I knew you had a husband, Lemonade. I pictured you being somebody that liked to be sodomized. You know why? Because you like to see that happen to the inner city. You back Antifa, which is a fucking racist, fascist group. Don't want no one black talking to Trump. Can someone talk to you to make something happen then? Nigga, do you have a pen that's powerful enough to equate the same as Donald Trump? Why the fuck should I listen to you then? I guess I shouldn't. You're a dumbass.
person who
saved people's lives. And this 20-ounce gloves, and they're yelling at us for a kidney punch.
To veterinarians, but it does seem obvious the zombie raccoon virus is spreading outside of the Northeast, so stay safe.
Talking about the Democrats being
well, despite plenty of examples of violence and extremism and mob behavior from the left, the media have decided to ban the word mob and coalesce around a new storyline. You better vote Democrat or you're a racist, sexist, or literally a traitor to your country.
Quislings meekly march in lockstep behind a morally disabled president. I don't.
But from some Tea Party in this, is that? I mean, I'm serious.
Means to be American.
Dan Bongino is a former NYPD officer, NRA TV contributor, author of the book Spygate: The Attempted Sabotage of Donald J. Trump. Dan, thanks a lot for coming on tonight. There's been a shift. So Trump got elected, obviously shocked and horrified a lot of people in Washington and New York. But they, for a while, decided to attack him and not the tens of millions of people who voted for him, not the whole middle of the country. Now they are. Now the idea is it's not just Trump who is bad. It's anyone who might support Trump is bad.
Yeah, this is really an incredible phenomenon. I mean, I've never seen anything like this where the media is playing referee solely for one side. It's like a boxing match where, you know, one side's wearing brass knuckles, we're wearing 20-ounce gloves, and they're yelling at us for a kidney punch or something, Tucker. It's ridiculous, but there's a couple things going on here. Number one, the leftist freak out is basically due to their, you know, their coin of the realm is state power. And when they lose state power, they're takers, right? They can't take your money, they can't take your health care. They don't have anything else but aggression, right? Now, the media polices that on the right. Matter of fact, the media even makes up stories about. Was that commentator you showed us? Was she even serious?
That's Democrats breaking shit up. That's Democrats breaking shit up. That's Democrats outside not giving a fuck. No real argument. No real protests. Just destruction. Intimidation.
Worried about a mug that says liberal tears while Antifa's beating the snot out of people in the street? Is that, I mean, I'm serious. Is that a serious comment? Like a mug that says liberal tears while there's actual people getting the crap beaten out of them in the streets. It's absurd.
I want to show you a piece of tape we just got. I think it's from Portland, Oregon. Otherwise a beautiful city, I have to say. Watch this.
Why are you trying to block me? I'm trying to walk here.
I'll make traffic signal.
You're a snarky little idiot. Shut the up.
Try something.
I'm not gonna punch you. I'm not like your husband. I'm not gonna punch you.
Somebody needs to find this character in New York City. Find who he is. And he needs to be dealt with by a real man. Period.
I'm not like your boyfriend or your top boyfriend who's gonna knock you out, so don't worry.
My husband died in 9/11.
Good for him. Good. Those NYPD were a bunch of sodomizing immigrants with their bully sticks. So yeah, your husband probably rot in the grave.
He doesn't know her. She's wearing an NYPD hat, so he starts screaming at her. My husband died on 9/11, she says. Good, he says. What's going on here?
You know, Tucker, Truck 7 of the Emergency Services Unit of the NYPD was in the precinct.
Democrats ought to be ashamed of themselves. The Democrats ought to be ashamed of themselves. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. Instead of actually caring, they're telling you to go outside and fight each other. This will make it worse. One, you're going to lose. You're weaker. Two, it just makes you despicable humans. That you have to physically assault people because they do not agree with you. That in itself is what started racism. I keep saying this shit to you.
I was in the 75th precinct when I was a cop. They lost multiple members running in those buildings on 9/11 to save people's lives. And this piece of human filth, this disgusting, savage animal, has the gall to say this to this woman who may have lost a loved one there on 9/11. I mean, this is grotesque behavior. And Tucker, you and I both know darn well, and thankfully so, that if that was some conservative from some Tea Party group who had done that to a liberal, he would be banned from any news channel, any Republican group, and polite conversation from now until eternity. Where is the left speaking out with a collective voice? As you pointed out before, they used to be the party of civil liberties, right? saying this kind of stuff is not welcome. Let's get back to ideas. And the media has a role in this too, which they've entirely abandoned.
No, the media has an agenda too. It's to do what globalists do, and it's destroy nations. They've been compromised. Majority of media outlets. And they're doing what globalists do, which are destroy nations. That's the agenda.
It does seem the closer we get to an election, the more united the press becomes in its mission, which is to carry water for the Democratic Party. I mean, all the kind of pretense falls away, and they just basically are running a continuous 24-hour-a-day commercial for the Democrats.
Tucker, it's a straight-up power play. It's the reason the immigration argument's covered the way it is as well. This was never about compassion for immigrants. It's not about refugees. This is about votes. They lost votes amongst working-class people, and they're trying to make it up with illegal immigrant votes. This has always been the play.
That's it.
Yeah. If they cared, they'd be concerned about the tens of thousands of Americans dying every year of drug ODs, but they don't. Dan, great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Well, if you're conservative, you probably grew up believing the government might be the biggest threat to free expression. Turns out it's not. Big tech, which is more powerful than the government, is. Could Republicans in the Congress take action to protect the public from their influence while they still hold the House? We'll ask one congressman next. Freedom of speech is under threat in this country because the entire political party is inviting it and encouraging it. They believe unchecked immigration will strengthen their hold on power. They're perfectly aware that you don't like this, but they don't care.
Nope.
Just yesterday, Nancy Pelosi said it would be, quote, immoral to build a wall that might stop poor people from flooding into this country. Watch.
We have to.
The point is, this is a fallen country.
I don't want to hear that bitch speak.
22 million illegals within our borders is just the beginning of our penance. Latin America is listening to all of this, and they are getting the message, and that's why they're on their way. Last fiscal year, 94,000 families from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador were detained at the U.S. border. Not one of these people had a right to come in, but they were not deported. Almost 100% of them are still here. Last 2 years, you hear it a lot because it's an effective political tactic, but it only works if you fall for it. You should not fall for it. Most Americans...
We need to demand that our government do something about this. This is not safe.
Not racists, not even close. They're decent people. They love their country.
This has nothing to do with being anti-immigration. This is fucking ridiculous.
They want their country to continue, and they know that will not continue without real borders. Max Burns is a spokesman for Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights, a group that campaigns on behalf of migration, and the human cost on just so bad, so awful. So.
No, people. You're not doing that again. I know you're like, what happened to the screen? I'm gonna fix it right now. You know, the thing that we should be worried about is the fact that Republicans haven't advocated for the arrest of these individuals or for these individuals to step down from their posts. Because in all honesty, in all actuality, every last one of these senators has taken an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. These people are not holding their oath. Something they swore that they would. They're oath breakers. Every last one. Every last one of them deserves to be prosecuted, or at least told to step down. At some point, you have to understand that free speech is not the destruction of your government. In no way, shape, or form should you advocate for the destruction of the Constitution. In no way, shape, or form, if you take an oath to defend the Constitution from enemies foreign and domestic, should you then allow people to illegally invade the country. That's what that is, an invasion. Democrats do not care about your children. You didn't even hear on the news that 11-year-old girl was raped and her little brother had to watch. How often did you hear about it, if you did? It's New York City. Motherfucker broke into a little girl's bedroom and raped her while her fucking brother watched. And we don't want these motherfuckers here. Trust me. Oh, he did? He ran away? Where? Where was it at?
Go under YouTube and look up Fcuk. Fcuk who harassed at 9/11 runs away. You're gonna look so fast when a big guy comes.
It says Antifa Thug what?
Fcuk who harassed 9/11 widow runs away.
Why are you trying to block me? I'm fucking trying to walk here.
I obey traffic signals.
You're a fucking snarky little fucking idiot. Shut the fuck up.
Try something, bitch.
I'm not. I'm not gonna punch you. I'm not like your husband. I'm not gonna punch you.
I'm not married.
I'm not like your boyfriend or your top boyfriend who's gonna fucking knock you out, so don't worry.
My husband died in 9/11.
Good for him. Good. Good. Those NYPD were a bunch of fucking sodomizing immigrants with their bully sticks. So yeah, your husband probably fucking should rot in the grave.
You call my mama?
What?
Yeah. Why you running now? What?
You gotta love it. MAGA. I guess that's a good way to end the show, man. Just when you know you thought that you would be upset, you're not, because America stands up again. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the morning as far as the last moderator. We ain't cracked 7 yet on here. I don't think yet. I want to shout out to everybody in the building. Yeah, I want you to realize something, man. It's some real important shit. You up. You are fucking up. And the only people that are saying dumb shit are the people that don't know any fucking thing any fucking way. And in most cases, 8 out of 10 times, they're not even gonna fucking vote. They're just trolling because they can. Because they have access to phones and computers, and it allows them to say the dumb mean shit, and it allows them to feel satisfied as if somehow it's making them stop you from winning. But you're winning. You're up. There is no blue wave. There is no blue trickle. They're taking money from billionaire George Soros and busing dumb motherfuckers from one place to the next. Same group of motherfuckers. They don't count. Because they can't make them same people vote over and over and over and over and over again. They can only vote once. Doesn't matter where they bust them to and how they jumping from one part of the nation to the other part of the country. It doesn't matter. They can't vote in all those places. Rejoice in the fact that you are drinking a cup full of liberal tears. And I enjoy it. I savor the taste. It's satisfying. It's quenching. The knowledge that I am currently making globalists suffer. And the only thing they can do is use puppets and sheep to claim that they're upset. And these people already lost anyway. They don't tell you how many seats they lost. See, to me, not only did Hillary Clinton lose, but Barack Obama lost too. He told you that if he lost, this would be against his legacy. No one fucking cared. Everyone was fucking tired. Everyone watched while fucking Hillary act as if her shit don't stink and she broke every fucking law she possibly could, short change of shooting a motherfucker broad daylight in front of the whole fucking world watching. When people came out and they called her on her shit, she spins it. She talks about Donald Trump being a predator, and her fucking husband wrote the book on predatory behavior. That nigga ain't even the movie Predator should be sued by Bill Clinton because he's been a predator before that movie ever fucking came out. Facts. These people are entitled. The only thing they know is power and making people suffer to get it. You continuously fucking with them, it's only going to allow them to continuously stab your ass in the back and hand you a fucking Band-Aid. That's it. There is no growth with these people. They do not make people better. They make them worse. More dependent on a system that is crooked. Full of systematic racism. Only thing is, they're the only white motherfuckers around black motherfuckers. You think about it. Do the fucking math. I want to tell everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay American, and do fucking remember that this is the motherfucking Wolfpack Hour. And
to protect the sheep, you got to catch the wolf, and it takes a wolf to catch a wolf. You understand?
Stay safe, stay healthy. Fuck the other side, bitch. We don't care.